me.
After you.
I'm going to eat a grape while we're waiting for you to do your intro. What do they call them?
What did you call them?
I don't remember.
You called them bubble gum.
It's kind of what they taste like. What are they called, though?
Cotton candy grapes.
Cotton candy. I was close. I was thinking of like different flavors. Like Jelly Bellies, they have cotton candy. They have... Anyway.
Hey everyone, and welcome to episode 76 of My Mom Sandy. We are your hosts. I am Josh Fasten, and the woman next to me has burned all of her medical face masks. This is My Mom Sandy.
Hello. Pardon me, I was just finishing up a cotton candy grape. Frozen.
What do you do? What do you do with these? You put them in a bag,
You wash them, you put them in a baggie, stick them in the freezer, and they're kind of like a little nice, little refreshing.
A refreshing summer snack.
Yeah, but you know what? They have little itty bitty seeds in them.
Mm.
I can't swallow that.
Mm-mm.
Once I feel it, it's like needs to come out.
That's what she said.
I can't help it. I don't know what she said. I wasn't there.
She said,
but that sounds good for you.
Once I feel it, it has to come out.
Okay.
Okay, so masks are done. We're done. That's it. We made the prediction last podcast.
Well, that's not true.
What did I say? Did I say 76?
You did. 76.
75. We said no more masks. Here we are today. We're recording this on a Friday. Tuesday, there's no more masks. They're gone. It's done. See you later, baby.
That's not true. First of all, and let's see how long it lasts, right? Until that Delta variant comes and takes over. You know, they locked down the UK again. Did you know that? Yeah. Okay, well, they did.
I feel like the issue, though, right, with a lot of these places is that they're not...
they don't care.
No, it's not that. It's that the vaccine rollout has not been as good in some of those places as it has been in the U.S., India, the UK, those kind of places. And I don't think, like, none of those places have gotten to a point where...
Well, I don't even think their numbers are up. I think what's happening is that Delta variant is spreading. It's spreading quickly, but people aren't getting that sick and they're not ending up in the hospital. So
you didn't want to turn that fan off, huh?
We could.
I just feel like it
probably is.
Just booming.
Well, did you want me to do it? I'm going to make more noise.
Oh, I hear it. I hear the fan.
Hey, I'm just trying to be comfortable. It's fucking hot.
We're actually recording this in the fall.
The fall? No, this is not the fall.
Yeah, no, I mean, look, I don't think...
Fan off, phone unplugged.
I don't think that... I mean, you can look it up, right? Like the UK, the places that were having outbreaks, like India, the UK going back into like lockdown or whatever, they don't have the success rate of the vaccinations as we do in the United States. I mean, that's proven.
Yeah. Oh, you could be right. Maybe
and
that's
you don't,
the difference.
and I don't think we know yet.
But I do feel. I mean, like, here's the thing. Like, I went grocery shopping on Thursday. Tuesday, I went to a pet store. And I got gas. And
on Tuesday, which was the day which was June 15th. That was the day that everything was lifted.
The grand opening day, yeah. And when I first went to the gas station, when I went inside to pay, I wore a mask in. And I asked her, I said, do we need to wear masks now? And she said, if you're vaccinated, no. And I whipped it right off. It's like, okay, cool. And then...
What else did you take off?
That was it.
Okay.
That's all I took off. And then I took off and went to the pet store. And when I walked in, I had my mask in my hand. I can't remember if they had a sign out. But I didn't wear a mask in there. They said I didn't have to wear one there. And I'm like, okay, cool. So, yeah. I mean, I'm not, like, particularly close to people. I'm not, although we don't have to socially distance either. I mean, it kind of is weird. It's like... it's like all of a sudden we have this freedom, which actually we had before, but we didn't really, we probably took it for granted. We didn't really know what it was like to be told, what we can and can't do, where we can go, what businesses are being closed down. arbitrarily.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think most places now have a sign. I went to Whole Foods on Tuesday to grab something, and then I had lunch somewhere. In most places now, it looks like they have a sign basically that says, like, I actually went by Target today, but I went early. I went at like 8:00.
Yeah.
And there's a sign that it says, like, per CDC, whatever, like, if you're vaccinated, it's your choice on whether you want a mask.
And OSHA's come out and said that that's acceptable as well. So,
and if you don't, and
that's
if you're
the
not
big
vaccinated
thing in California,
then you still have to wear a mask. Look, I went into work on Wednesday at the hair salon with my mask, and 2 of the other stylists were not wearing them. 2 of the clients that were in there were not wearing them, and I was like, oh, I guess this is where we are.
Have they been vaccinated, your coworkers?
Yes.
Yeah.
There's 2 that have not, and they're still wearing masks. So yeah, I mean, I think that this is where we are. I don't want to say that. I mean, it sure does
it's weird
feel
that it took this long. I mean, I got my first vaccine on the 9th of February, so it's like,
yeah, but there's people who literally just got it like a month ago.
no, but why couldn't I go maskless after I had my second one?
I think the idea was to try to get enough people vaccinated.
Either infected or vaccinated.
You can choose A. You can choose B.
That's
you
right.
can choose A
What
or
would
B.
you like to? What would you like?
So yeah, I mean, I think
Infection or unknown experimental vaccination.
Yeah. So I think that's the thing. I think it comes down to them waiting to say, okay, here's what the numbers are showing. We have whatever 60%, 70% of the population vaccinated, and we're not seeing this thing like spread. I think that there was a big concern in the beginning. It's like, okay, well, we're vaccinating people, but are we sure, or do we know if this is going to be a situation where, they're still getting COVID or still spreading COVID? And what, the data is showing is that people really aren't getting it anymore, And again, I don't want to say that this is like, make June 15th a holiday, but
well, we're
mask day.
Listen, I know, but we're so far behind every other fucking
True.
state. It's like,
but that's all that we have to go on.
We
right?
celebrate our victory, but remember,
it's a little bit later than everybody.
Yeah, I mean, everybody else has been open up for several months
because we're on the West Coast.
I know it takes it longer to get here. Whatever it is. I mean, they came up with this date again, an arbitrary fucking date they came up with months ago. Oh, we think following the science that June 15th will be the day we can open up completely. Okay.
And like you had said, right? I think it's still weird to go from, for example, like the salon, right? It was like, okay, June 14th, every other chair, right? Every other chair. No, you cannot work next to someone. Masks on. Temperature checks at the door. Have you traveled within the last 14 days? And then June 15th, it's like
none.
Full capacity, no mask, no temperature check. You've been vaccinated, take your fucking mask off. It's crazy. It's crazy to think about, like, people were like, oh, overnight, 12:01 a.m. It was like, take your mask off.
I know. That's like fucking weird. It's like it's just weird. I mean, and on top of that, I think that New York opened up around the same time as we did.
Possibly.
But, the fact of the matter is that we're the last of the fucking country to do this. And
well, the other thing too, I mean, you got to remember is we have, compared to some places in the country, we have a lot more people. Same in New York. We have a lot more people per square inch.
Per square inch or square mile? Like, I think they measure stuff like that by square mile.
How many people take
square
up a square
inches?
How many people take up a square inch?
How many square inches are there in a person?
Well, I can fit about 4 people into 1 square inch.
No, you cannot.
We have more people per square inch.
I mean, we have more density
than they do.
Dense population
in other places in the country. So I think that there was that thing too, where it's like, okay, well,
I don't know about that in Florida and Texas.
No, but I'm not necessarily saying Florida and Texas. I'm saying
no, but those are the 2 successful states that have not had required people to be masked and have not been locked down for months on end.
We talked about this on the podcast before. If I was
you always say that.
I know that's my line.
Your go-to.
I have a bumper sticker on my car that says, "We've talked about that before." Podcast before.
We talked about that on the podcast.
My Mom Sandy # My Mom Sandy podcast.
Really? Tune in.
We've talked about this on the podcast before, but that people didn't know what was going to happen with COVID. So the idea of like Florida or Texas or something being like, well, here, let's open everything back. Let's keep everything open, right? And we'll just see what happens. And California being like, well, here, we'll shut everything down. I think it was that thing of like, well, we don't know. We don't know what's going to happen, right? Like Florida could have skyrocketed in cases. LA, you know, obviously.
Well, everybody predicted that they would, and they didn't. And the thing is that that's where you see that's where you learn. You know, you learn from studies that are being done in other countries. You learn from, you know, like for instance, in Israel, they've only given the Pfizer vaccine.
Right, but
they've done studies now. They're following people and they're doing studies on the side effects and the efficacy of the vaccine.
There's like people in Israel walking down the street and there's just people following them.
No, they just have.
How do you feel today? You feel
no,
okay?
no. When you get the Pfizer vaccine, it's that liquid microchip. They don't have to follow you. They're actually recording every single thing that's going on in your body.
I didn't know that it was I thought it was a regular microchip, just very small.
It'd have to be super. Well, it is a painful shot, so it could be.
That's the microchip going.
I thought it was a liquid microchip.
Well, wouldn't you just pee it out?
No, it attaches to your cells, your DNA and your cells. That's why it's called the mRNA vaccine.
What does that stand for?
Yeah, I don't know.
Mucolysosis rigatoni.
I have no idea.
Nucleus associated cell.
It's a scientific thing. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think that it was that thing where I would have hated to have been a governor, you know, and trying to decide like what to do with my state, because I don't know if there was a right answer or a wrong answer, you know.
Well, here's the thing, and I think this is one of the problems, is that the coronavirus became very politicized, as did everything else in Trump's presidency.
I think we talked about that on the podcast.
I think we did too. But because of that, I don't think that people looked objectively at the science, at the data that was being collected, the instances of cases in Florida and California. And yes, every governor decided to do their own thing, but I almost feel like, you know, sometimes if you just think it's a conspiracy theory, you never look into it to see if it is or if it isn't. So if it's a conspiracy theory that, oh my God, we can, you know, open up a state, we can have a state operate without masks, we can keep our economy somewhat stable, you know, if you believe that's a big fucking lie, you're not even going to look at it. And that's the problem.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think it should have never been politicized. You know, I think it should have been, from the get-go, it should have been that thing of like, okay, how do we get past this? How do we make people healthy? How do we solve this, you know, this pandemic or whatever? And I felt like a lot of times like that kind of just fell by the wayside. It was more about the politics involved, the political parties involved, you know, what this political party was trying to gain, what this political party was trying to take away from, you know, and it was just like, man, this is a fucking shit show. You know, we have real people dying, you know. But yeah, I mean, how do you, so, you know, that's kind of going back, backtracking a little bit, but so how do you feel with everything now?
Well, I think my point that I was trying to make with, you know, following the data and the science, I mean, like, here's the other thing, is that the state's open, but only 47% of the schools in the state of California are open. So the state's not completely open, and it's just fucking ridiculous. I mean, I know they're doing school in Orange County. Why can't they do school in LA County?
They're doing school here?
Not in LA County, they're not. Those teachers they're doing remote. They're not doing
kids are back. Well, I mean, kids are out of school now, but kids are back.
Not in LA County.
Is this LA County?
No, this is, we have our own.
Oh, well, I don't know what LA.
We have our own school district.
Who cares what LA County does?
Well, I'm just saying. Well, because
isn't it funny that we have our own school system here, but then we're still like lopped into LA County as far as like
not for education.
No, I know, but for like, oh, mask mandate, LA County, oh, Redondo Beach.
Yeah,
it's weird. Right?
Well, you know, maybe the city actually has a choice as to whether or not to. It probably not. I mean, mask mandates are, you know, that's the other thing, is Gavin Newsom did not take us off of emergency alert, so to speak. In other words, he's kept us in a state of emergency. Was that smell good?
I was smelling. So I didn't. There's something I'm getting. It smells like toast.
Oh, isn't that the sign of a stroke?
Is it? You smell toast?
I remember seeing a mom episode where she said, she was like, Christy, I think I'm having a heart attack. And then she goes, oh, hurry, come. And then she goes, oh, it could be a stroke. I smell toast.
That's weird.
So I don't know.
I don't like
Do you
that.
really smell toast? Is that in your microphone?
What does yours smell like?
It smells like nothing.
Um,
Maybe you ate toast before you spoke into it. And so it's holding that. So anyway, my point is, what was my point? What was I talking about? I'm so scattered. Oh yeah. So the school. So I guess the reason I'm bringing up the school thing is that if only 47% of the schools in the state of California are open for in-person education, it's like, why, now that we're a year and a half into this virus and there's been all sorts of data collected on schools that have remained open across the world, I might add. I mean, like, France and Sweden and, so there's data that's been collected and the data shows that kids should be in school. But somehow the schools in LA Unified, the teachers in LA Unified don't think that they need to follow that data or that science.
well, and so, so you have to look at it and, with that thing, right? Is that a state health decision? Is that a unified school district teacher decision? Is that a,
it would be in the individual unified school districts. It's not just LA County.
Well, maybe the LA...
I don't think San Francisco's open to in person either.
Anyway, I don't know. I just know that I don't know. But what I do know
is I don't know.
No.
I don't care because I have no school age kids. But
remember that time that me and what's his name were talking? I almost said his name. Me and what's his name were talking, and he was trying to sell me on that forum, and he's like, but do you know what you don't know? And
No,
I was
you
like,
don't.
no, because I don't know it. He goes, right, but you don't know what you know that you don't know.
Okay,
and I was
stop.
like,
all right,
wait, what? And he's like, right, you know what you don't know that you know don't know.
yeah, okay, all right, yeah, I remember that. Anyway, So I kind of feel like when, like, it's like when people say follow the science, they typically only follow the science when it suits their narrative. And it's like, you got to follow the science everywhere. I mean, if the data shows that it's safe to open up schools and that grade school kids don't transmit the disease, don't get that ill, blah, 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 then you follow that science. You just don't be like, oh, I'm a cherry pick. Oh, arbitrary. Again, it's that arbitrary, capricious, this is what we'll follow. And this
Caprese?
Caprese.
I love that salad.
That's a good salad,
capricious salad?
Yeah,
It's
a
great.
capricious salad.
It's so delicious.
I know.
Look, all I'm saying is
whatever.
This,
It doesn't matter.
Yeah, the whole point in all this, right, was not to go backtrack and go in deep dive and all this shit, but
I like deep diving.
I know you do, yeah. But for better or for worse, like, shit's open. I mean, the amount of Instagram stories that I'm seeing of people out at like bars, restaurants, big groups, partying, no mask, dancing. It's concerts again. I mean, it's a cool thing to see. Cause
I know, but I wonder how many people are really vaccinated that are going maskless. And so I'm going to tell you right now, the people that are really resistant to the vaccine may not have even thought that the coronavirus was a big deal, which, I think in the end we're going to find out that numbers were highly elevated. They're already saying that they've, got hospital employees whistleblowing on.
But again, we talked about that way back when that and look, I don't think that you can deny that, what they say, the U.S. just topped 600,000 COVID deaths. Let's take a quarter of that out, right? So that gives us what? What's that number?
200,000. You take 200,000 out?
No,
that's
a third. So 150,000.
Yeah.
So you take 150. So you got 450,000 people who died from COVID, right? So
get my calculator out.
It's a huge fucking number, right? So I don't think that it's like, oh my God, 3/4 of these people, just died of old age. I don't think that that's what's going to come out. But yes, I do think that when this is all said and done, and again, we've talked about this on the podcast, but
of course we have.
I think it'll come out that way more people had it than actual concrete numbers for example, I had it. My number never went into the database.
That's right.
You know,
You flew right underneath the radar.
I said you can't follow me.
You can't get me. Unless I have a TikTok app on my phone, and then you can't.
I don't have it. And that, you know, I think that you're going to find out that, you know, for the most part, the people who got it that were, you know, healthy, you know, or didn't get a serious case of it ended up being okay. You know, again, and I'm not downplaying the seriousness of what COVID was, because I think it was extremely serious. And I know personally people who lost family members to it. But I think that you have to look at it.
Excuse me, I just cleared my throat.
I was going on a rant, and I was like, I gotta clear it.
Got to clear it.
But yeah, I just, you know, I think that this is going to go down as, like, I think we completely blundered. Is that a word? Blundered?
I don't know if it would be used in the.
We completely blundered the response to COVID and the way that we went about everything. And I think that.
I think the word you're looking for is fucked up, right?
I was trying to be PC.
Oh. Well, then this is the.
I don't like using a lot of swear words on our podcast, you know? Fuck that shit.
Yeah, okay. I was going to say, when did that happen?
So yeah, I don't know. Like, I think it's interesting. I think it's interesting how, you know, we spoke about it on the podcast.
Of course.
Recently.
See, I told you.
About how I was going to Six Flags Magic Mountain.
Yes.
And it was funny because when we bought our tickets, it was, you know, there was a group of us going, and it was like, well, you got to buy your ticket to reserve a place. You have the, you know, you pick like a time slot that you would arrive by, right?
Yeah.
And then it was, you know, you have to wear a mask the whole day. California residents are not allowed into the park, or I'm sorry, non-California residents are not allowed into the park.
Why is that?
I think they were trying to prohibit travel, you know?
Oh.
And then it was like, you got to keep a mask on the whole time. You know, there's all these like things, all these stipulations, right? And then June 15th, you know, it was like, hey, we're giving out 50,000 tickets for free. If you want to come to the park whenever you want, no mask, come out of state. It's great. It's going to be a fantastic time. You're going to love Six Flags Magic. And I'm just like,
Are they giving them away?
So I saw something that was like Six Flags was trying to give out like 50,000 tickets.
I want to get in on the
Six Flags Magic Mountain.
No,
I would love to see one roller coaster.
I want to get in on the state of California. I mean, do I have to like get? I mean, I just have to have gotten a vaccine, right?
Yeah, I think you're in the system, babe.
Wait, I don't have to like register?
No, they got you.
No, I'm gonna Google it later.
No, so what happens is they're gonna,
because at Ralph's they're doing giveaways too, but you have to have your vaccine at Ralph's.
Yeah, but that's because that's a Ralph's thing. This is for the state of California. You live in California, you got your vaccine in California. So what they'll do is they'll pick 10 winners, and then they access the microchip in your arm.
The microchip in your arm.
So it starts buzzing, and you go, I won!
It's kind of like when you go to the restaurant and they give you the
that's exactly what it is. But it's a small one, yeah.
Oh, it's ready.
And
I won.
And then you can see the little ring of lights light up.
Perfect. Well, that makes me feel good.
Wouldn't that be great? Like, wouldn't that be the cherry on top? Is like you win like $1 million.
It's proof.
No, well, not that, but like you win $1 million just for getting this vaccine that like you didn't even want. I would easily take half that because I forced you to get it.
You think? First of all, you wouldn't take half of it because probably the state and the federal government would take half of it.
They take like 30%.
You know, I read something really disturbing last night about Biden's proposing a death tax. He's proposing that, like, if you here's an example. If I'm a widow, which I'm not a widow, but I'm divorced, I'm a single woman, and you own a house, and say I die, and the house is worth $2.25 million. Okay, and I bought it, you know, like years and years and years ago. So I leave that house to my kids, and what Biden wants to do is he wants then for the kids to pay taxes on anything above $1.25 million. So basically, you're left with paying taxes on $1 million. On top of that, he wants to raise the capital gains tax to 40%. And do you know what that means? That means on that $1 million, you're paying $400,000 in taxes.
Or just sell the house.
you're still going to pay it.
Right, but it's better than paying. It's better to pay the taxes on selling the house than paying the taxes.
I know, but
on your death.
I know, but here's the thing. Here's the thing. It's absurd that you're paying 40% tax. On top of that, the money that you used to buy the house with, it's already been taxed, right? Unless you're, the drug cartel and you have a bunch of laundered money.
I understand this whole concept of like,
it's something that concerns me now because number one, my mother's still alive and she has a little bit of money in her estate, not much, but, and then the second thing is, is that I'm going to die at some point.
No, you're not. You're gonna live forever.
Do I sell the house before I die? I mean, I'll have to pay capital gains on that as well. Because I only get...
What if you sold the house to me?
Well, it depends on what I sell it for.
You could probably sell it for cheap. And then...
Well...
We had that little back area like where the garbage cans used to be, so I could build like a little mother-in-law suite there.
As long as we keep the coyotes out, I'm good to go.
I could figure out it's not going to be open to the elements. I'm going to build you a little house. We could get a good price per square inch back there.
Are you sure not a square mile?
Definitely not.
Yeah. So anyway,
Look,
I kind of, like I said, I read that article last night and I was like, oh my God. I mean, that's just.
I think that they're trying to do things to alleviate the rich getting richer and the poor getting poorer. But I don't think that they're doing a good job of it.
But see, what you don't understand, and what you don't understand is that the rich will find ways to get out of paying that. Here's for instance, I think it was, what's his name and I were reading about, I think it was, I don't know if it was Bloomberg or one of those gazillionaires. This is how they do it. They don't pay themselves a salary. They borrow money. I hear you opening that Laffy Taffy on air. How are you going to eat that and talk?
I'm not doing. I'm listening. I'm literally
chewing gum.
I'm doing nothing. I'm listening to you talk.
You should at least put it under the
Tell
table.
Me about I'm not even doing anything right now.
Anyway,
Tell me about Bloomberg.
So he doesn't pay himself a salary, so he doesn't get taxed on that. Oh my God, you're right. Going remote, and when you can't see that kind of thing, say hi, Josh. Josh. Oh, you're thinking I'm going to blabber on and on and on. Is it soft?
And flaccid,
the Laffy Taffy. Josh just ordered some drum stuff and he loves it because the drum company sent him his equipment and oh look, you have a bit of honey.
I didn't even know. This was a company one of my friends Mark told me about this. He's like, oh, you got to order your stuff from Sweetwater. And so the company is called Sweetwater.
I'm taking this.
Send you a little bag of sweets.
Yeah, you got
they should send see what would be clever is a bottle of water and a bag of sweets.
But they don't have the same thing. That's a good idea. You should write them. They don't have the same thing in each bag.
No, they don't. It's different. All right, well, come on, Bloomberg.
So anyway, so he doesn't pay himself a salary, and what he does is he borrows money. So basically,
who does?
Bloomberg. So he borrows
Jim
from
or Johnny.
Jeff,
the older one.
Junior, Jeff Jr.
Jeff Bloomberg Jr.
Yeah. Anyway, so he borrows money, and that's the money he lives high off the hog on, and he pays it back, and all of his earnings go into the corporation, and the corporation has all sorts of tax write-offs. So basically, he pays no fucking taxes.
When you have when you're in charge of some billion-dollar company,
and then he yells and says, "Oh yeah, the rich should pay their fair share.
Right.
As long as it's not me, I'm good. And as long as I have all these tax write-offs, I'm good to go."
When you figure out,
but you and I don't have that. See, that's the problem.
Well, great. So when you're $1 million company, you figure out ways to fucking finagle it, just like you gotta, and you have way more write-offs because you're $1 billion company. You know.
Yeah, but somehow it doesn't seem right because it always seems like the little guy gets screwed.
So that's yeah.
And so we end up footing the bill in most cases.
What's your favorite candy? Like if you had to pick one candy that's like your absolute favorite.
My apps. I don't know. Maybe like Junior Mints.
Really?
Yeah.
That's like the
I like
one.
hot tamales as well, but they're a little chewy.
So if someone
what about you?
I don't eat candy.
Oh, you're so full of shit.
It's just sugar thing.
I don't eat candy either. I don't go out and buy them. But if you're asking me what my favorite one is, I mean, you telling me you've never had candy in your life?
What's candy?
What is candy?
I honestly,
anyway?
I think
It's just a whole bunch of sugar.
I go through I think probably like if it was like, hey, you can have one candy, you know, like this is it. Like you're going to have, this is the one candy you're going to have for the rest of your life would probably be Sour Patch Kids.
Gee, who would have guessed?
Peter got me a
You
bag.
don't like the mix?
See, you're so far away from the mic.
You don't like the mix?
The mix what?
The mix that we used to get.
Oh, it's okay. It wore on me.
Yeah.
It got to a point where I was like, nah, I don't want these anymore, you know?
Yeah.
But Peter got me like a sour. You can go on like the Sour Patch Kids website and like pick the flavors and like get like a, I don't know, a 1 pound or 5 pound bag.
Ooh.
So it was like the Josh mix. And like
what was there?
Deliciousness. I don't know how he did it, but he literally picked like the best flavors.
How many? I mean, they only have like 5 or 6.
No.
Oh no, they have all the
They have,
tropical,
like, tropical
fruits.
They have the regular ones. They have, I think there's like another one as well, but he put like, it was like blue raspberry, pineapple.
Oh, the pineapple I would love.
Yeah, I was just like, and it was almost like the mix was almost like red, white, and blue, and I was just like,
Oh, how patriotic.
I was like, is this? And he's like, no, I just thought these were the best flavors. Knocked it out of the park.
Red. I wonder red, white, and blue.
I feel like it might have been like watermelon. Might have been 2 different red ones. There was like a watermelon, a strawberry, pineapple, and like blue raspberry maybe. He's like, oh, I have it saved on my computer whenever you want to order more, you know? But it was like the best.
How much does that cost? I wouldn't
not
mind getting
much. Not much.
a
A
big.
5 pound bag, a 5 pound box of Sour Patch Kids.
Well, is the pineapple the same as the white ones in the regular mix?
There are no white Sour Patch Kids in the regular.
Oh, there aren't?
No.
What am I thinking of?
Gummy bears.
Oh, okay. So, yeah, the pineapple. Well, next time you got your mix,
Guava and mango.
you just whip out the pineapple and put it in a baggie and save it for me.
I don't want to whip anything
Just
out
make
for
sure you put your glove on before, so I don't get
No, it was
COVID
yeah, it was
germs.
fantastic, and I was just like, this is yeah, it's great. But the problem that I had with it was there was so much that, I mean, I legitimately think it was like a 5 pound box of Sour Patch Kids.
Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot.
And the problem is that like I could sit down with it and go through like a pound. Like that's like it was so good. Like even when I was like, oh, I'll just have 2 or 3, it turned into me being like, you know, like I would put a dent. Like I'm like, oh, I've just ate a quarter of this box.
Next time you come to do your laundry at my house, I want you to bring your popcorn. I haven't had your popcorn in like forever.
Tell them what you're really talking about. You don't have to call it like code.
You don't have to. I don't have to use the code. I'm talking about your popcorn. He makes really good popcorn. He does.
I'll make it and bag it for you. Are you gonna eat that bit of honey that's just sitting
No,
there?
not now. I can't eat it while we're on the podcast. Are we done?
While we're on air.
Yeah.
Well, so no, I mean, look, I mean, we're getting completely sidetracked here, but what are you doing?
I'm trying to break it in half. I can't like eat this whole piece at once.
Do it again. Do it again.
It's like taffy.
You look like a candy maker
Have you
right
ever
there.
had saltwater taffy?
Yeah, but that was great. You look like a professional
I
candy
know.
maker.
Like
Like you did this thing where you're like,
like Lucy.
or like you were making a pretzel, you know?
There you go.
So now, okay. So you split the little bit of honey in half, and now you're pulling it into smaller pieces
I'm just pulling it into smaller pieces because I like the way it looks.
What the fuck is wrong with you? Now you have
See.
bits. We got to take a picture of this. Now we have bits. You have bits of honey. Here, pull it out a little bit. Here, pull the string out.
Is that good?
God, there's something wrong with you.
Here, like this. It is. It's kind of like making. It's kind of like making candy.
And
if you've ever made candy,
what's weird is that from where I am,
it makes my nose get all stuffy when I laugh like that.
from where I am, it's now it's.
I mean, I don't really want to eat this, to be honest with you. Because
But now, okay, but from where I'm sitting, it's now taken on like I mean, it's kind of a
It's
flesh
almost
color
like-
anyway.
it's almost
So
like-
now it just looks like you're pulling your skin is like this like flesh taffy that you're
There
just
you
playing
go.
with.
You want to take another picture?
No, it's fucking weird. And what's even more weird is that you have not even put it in your mouth. You're just sitting there with it.
I can't. I told you I can't eat it while we're on air.
So you're taking one, which is probably the fingers.
They're
Fingers a little sticky.
Yeah, it's just a little bit.
Really didn't think this one out, did you?
No, I did not.
All right. Well, Anyway,
It's all right.
Anyway, we're getting.
Look, I have Tootsie Roll. I could do the same
do the
thing
same
with
thing.
a
Yeah.
Tootsie
And then,
Roll.
what if you did a
Mix the
swirl?
two.
Yeah.
Oh.
A Tootsie Honey swirl.
A
A Tootsie.
a
A Tootsie Honey. Do
A
it.
Tootsie bit of honey.
Or a bit of Tootsie Honey.
There you go.
There you go. We just made a new candy. You're welcome.
Whoever.
Don't touch your glasses. Those are gonna get all sticky.
No, they're not that bad. It's just it kind of wears off.
Oh.
No,
You gonna lick them?
no.
No. Okay.
No.
Yeah, I mean, look, we got completely sidetracked, but the big thing was I just wanted to say, I wanted to ask what your experience was with like the outside world since Tuesday, since June 15th.
I just have a hard time believing that it's going to go on forever. Like
That COVID's going to go on forever, or that
No, I just feel like we're going to get more cases because people that aren't vaccinated. Like I've seen pictures of people in bars too, and it's just weird that. Again, like one day we got to be 6 feet apart and we got to have masks on, and the next day
it's fine.
we're all sitting in a bar, breathing and drinking, and having a grand old time. It's just like
I mean, I think
weird.
I think it was a buildup. I mean, I know that it was one day and it was like literally like okay here, but I think it was a buildup to like get us back to this point. And yeah, I mean the consensus, that I've been talking with like clients and stuff is that it's like we hope that this is kind of the beginning of the end, right? That this is the light at the end of the tunnel, the pot of gold at the end of the rainbow.
So we have to get our booster shots.
Well, and look, we'll see what happens when that happens.
I don't think I want to get another one, to be honest with you, but
look, I think
they'll have a harder time pushing a booster than they did the original vaccine.
I think it just depends where we are at, right?
Yeah.
If this is how COVID goes on, right, where it's very small amount of cases, people are not getting seriously ill. They come out and they say, hey, people who had COVID, these antibodies are lasting forever. People who are getting the vaccine, they're saying, well, we don't really know. I mean, because that's the other thing. They don't know how long they can hypothesize. See what I did there?
Yes.
How long these vaccines are good for, but they don't really know.
So let me ask you a question because I'm not clear on this. Maybe you know, but it may be too medical for you as well.
Nothing's too medical for me.
If you have the vaccine and you have your blood tested, you don't necessarily show antibodies, right?
Are you asking me that as a medical professional? Or?
I as a medical professional.
I mean, look, I think that there's...
Where the hell's Bonnie when we need her?
I think that there's so many problems with this, right? First off, they don't know if the antibodies ever go away.
No,
right?
I know, but what I'm saying is I don't believe I ever had COVID, but I've had the vaccine. So if you were to check my blood right now...
So I don't think that you're going to...
Would my blood say, oh, yes, she has...
Hello, she has the antibodies.
She has the antibodies. She doesn't need the booster.
Oh, hello there. We know what you're looking for. She's got the antibodies.
See, that's what I'm asking.
And a little bit of honey.
That's what... Because I had heard that you don't have the actual antibodies because the vaccine just like gives you that spike thing.
Right,
and
my understanding was that you do not have COVID antibodies.
So what? So how will they know? How scientifically do they know when the vaccine's effectiveness wears off?
Well, I think that if we see another uptick in cases in a year or 16 months or 18 months or whatever it is, that's.
But what if they come back and say in 6 months, okay, we think you need a booster, and I'm going to say, I don't fucking believe you guys because you kind of lie like all the time.
I think that that's the problem, and I don't think that they lie. I just don't think that they know. I think that it's like.
All right. Well, when they find out, I think
they're trying to get ahead of the curve.
When they find out, they need to admit that they were wrong and they need to correct it. I mean, you just have to do that. It's too fucking confusing. Like I said, I think
we talked about that on the last podcast.
We talked about this on several podcasts.
But they're never going to do that.
The messaging is very confusing.
It's never going to change. This is how this is. It's how it's going to be. And I think that where it's at is that...
Well, I'm sure glad we pay them to do this great job.
They're trying to get ahead of the curve and make sure that we don't... Stop with the sticky fingers.
Sticky fingers.
That would be your mob name.
Sticky fingers.
Sticky fingers Sandy.
Sticky fingers Sandy.
Did you get whacked? I did. I got whacked by Sticky fingers Sandy. Dun, 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 dun.
All she did was put her fingers on my face. And, it's gross.
Anyway, well, okay, good. That's all I got. I hope that this is... I hope that as we go on, right, we don't have to talk about. I mean, I think we've been doing a killer job of kind of getting away from the COVID thing, but I think that Were you trying to wash your fingers off in the grape bag?
No, I want a grape, but
Oh.
it's making noise. I know it's making noise.
I think we've been doing a good job of kind of getting away from it, and I hope that this just kind of is a slow process to get back to normal because it's fun to do things.
Now we can do like shows on the really bad service we got when we went to Spectrum today, or when we,
Yeah,
you know.
exactly.
By the way, what's going on with the dog? Any news on your dog, the neighbor?
My dog, the neighbor.
Your dog, the
It's
neighbor?
actually just so I found out there's actually not even people there. It's just a dog that lives there.
Okay.
No, I haven't heard the dog. Nothing.
And you don't know if the dog's living
I'm
there?
pretty sure the dog's still there, but I don't know if the dog's there all the time. The dog could definitely be gone. I don't know. I don't get involved too much. I just know that I don't hear the dog, and that's a-okay by me.
Yes.
And that I don't personally have a problem with anyone in my complex, but you can't have a dog that barks for hours and hours and hours. Like you can't. That can't happen.
Well, good. And as far as my trip to Arizona, that's still up in the air. They were supposed to have a meeting on. This is what kills me about, and I don't know if this is COVID related or if this is just how the fucking.
I like now that
bureaucracy-
your hands are sticky, and so they're like open the whole time that you're talking.
Yes, open hands. That means I'm a very open person. So I don't know if this is COVID related or if this is the way the Pinal County judicial system works, but they were supposed to have a meeting on the 1st of June to discuss everything. They changed that to the 14th of June, and now they've changed it again to the 28th of June. It's like, what the fuck? I don't know what's going on.
Okay, well, keep us posted.
Yeah.
I hope that if you do go, it's a fun little trip. And then
I'm sure it'll be a fun little trip because, what says fun like 120 degrees in Arizona
It's
in
hot
July,
right now.
for
Yeah,
God's sakes.
It's hot.
I mean, that sounds fun to me. Oh, did you hear unemployment's going to start asking for proof that you're looking for employment? I don't know what that means exactly. Starting in July.
Well, mine, like when I go on for mine, I mean, it's not going to matter soon enough because it's getting busy enough at the salon now where I'm picking up another day, you know, which should be, I should actually make more money doing, I should be closer in to what I was making before all of this pandemic, shit started. But my thing, I never say that I'm not working. I say like, hey, I worked, I made money, but my work's been cut in half. Which is the truth.
No.
Like, and it's just now starting to pick back up. But, this is what I had said before was that.
You mean on a previous podcast?
I think on a previous podcast is that with restaurants and hair salons and nail places and massage places, you can close them all down. You can say that they're open and everyone can go back to work. But that
But that doesn't mean you're
right.
earning the same income.
I could work 7 days a week.
Yeah.
Right. But it doesn't. I think you have a grape seed on your finger. Or a booger. No, now it's probably, who knows where it went now. I could work 7 days a week, but if people aren't coming in to get their hair cut because they're concerned about coming into a hair salon, then it doesn't make any difference how many days a week I work, right?
That's true.
I'm not making any money.
Yeah.
So like when I fill out my unemployment stuff, I say, I worked last week. Here's what I made, and then there's a section that you can say like, I'm still working part-time or on call. I'm working part-time to what I was working before.
Yeah.
My business has been cut in half, and, again, it's picking back up and it feels really good now. But I mean, there was times where I was working 2 days and essentially the second day I would go in, I was leaving early, so it's like.
I know. I don't know what I'm going to do with my business because I just don't know, I just don't know where it's going to go. I mean,
I think you should do like a lemonade stand. Like in this, well, you should do that. You should you should wheel the fucking cart out of the garage on the hot summer days.
I'm going to tell you, you go, there's a lot of places in LA that you can go and people have little food stands and lemonade stands. And apparently you can do that. And now I don't know if you can do that if you're, never mind. But you can do that and not have to deal with health department.
I'm telling you, you should wheel your shit out during the summer, set it up, fucking smoothies, like a $5 smoothie. You would be crushing it. Have
No, but
Sam come down and help
I need
out.
electricity.
Mom, there's a plug in the garage and there's
Oh,
a
you
plug
mean
outside.
just you mean
right
just
in the
set up
driveway.
in the driveway?
Right in the driveway, and you have signs all up and down. I don't want to give the street away, but all up and down our street, all up and down the side street. Fucking $5 smoothies. You know, your choice. You call it $5 smoothies, and then you get some fucking boba. Oh my god, Peter's been on the boba kick lately. He would be over
I
here.
heard there was a boba shortage.
There's a lumber shortage. That's where they get the boba from.
They make the
wood
boba
chips.
out of wood chips. that seems kind of right.
I'm telling you,
I don't like boba.
I like boba. Although last time I had boba, I sucked it in too quick. And
I was going to say,
I almost choked.
Yeah, people
was
choke
scary.
on it.
Yeah, was scary.
It's like you got to get the either
You gotta
the
know.
little itty bitty ones, or you got to get the big ones.
You get the
that
big ones.
aren't going to go down.
They go down.
Yeah, accidentally.
You gotta chew them a little bit.
I know that's weird, but isn't that weird that they would, that there's this product out there that can actually kill you? Yeah.
There's a lot of products out there that
It's
can kill you.
like, I know, but
List
it's
of
kinda like-
deaths in 2021. COVID.
Did you
COVID
see
vaccine.
the other day?
Boba.
The other day on the internet, I saw a picture of a girl who was trying to eat a live octopus,
No.
and it
That
was like
crawling back up.
it
out
was
of her mouth.
like attacking her face.
Yeah, I
She
wouldn't
couldn't
do
even
it.
get it in her
No.
mouth. But that's an issue with those too, because
Yeah, I would
you
never
eat
do
those
it.
things live, and
Yeah, well, don't do that.
they like.
When I eat boba, the boba's dead.
I know, but the boba can still choke you.
You got really close to the mic there.
I did. The boba can still choke you.
I think we need to talk about this. Sandy's fantastic outside cappuccinos. I think you pick you do a Saturday or Sunday. You started you go 8 to 2.
And do an 8-ounce glass. I mean, it's totally not competitive with the big coffee
How big is
change.
compared to your hydro flask? How big is an 8-ounce glass?
Oh, probably
Oh no. No, you got to do it 16 ounce. You could do 12 ounce would be a small, 16 ounce would be a medium.
Well, I have to.
No one's
charge-
coming up for an 8 ounce.
You buy 2 of them.
No one's fucking doing that.
Well, that's a problem.
So
I
how
mean,
much-
because now the cost goes way up.
Well, yeah. So you charge. So I mean, let's talk about it.
I mean, how much would you pay for a smoothie with boba?
I think at the
Boba.
boba place I pay $4.50, $5.
And see, I'd have to charge more than that.
How? What is going on over here?
Well, because they buy huge bulks of their shit.
Okay.
So
You're gonna do tons of business. That's the thing.
where do all right. I better get a new freezer.
Look, we put it up on the My Mom Sandy podcast. This is the thing. We put it out on My Mom Sandy podcast. It's whatever. We pick a Sunday. Hey, Sunday such and such meet and greet with My Mom Sandy
At my fucking house.
at your house.
Now I feel like I could be
You
targeted
can
by
get-
anybody.
You can get an iced coffee. You can get a smoothie with boba or a slush. You could do
or
slushes.
maybe a smoothie without boba. Boba's expensive.
All right, that's what I'm saying. You could do smoothies with
There's
no
a boba. There's a boba. There's a boba.
I like when you say
shortage.
boba. Say it again.
Boba.
There is a
There's a
boba.
boba.
A boba. A boba.
It's kinda
a
like
boba,
guava.
A boba.
Guava.
A boba.
That's
Say it again. A boba. It's not even boba. It's a boba. Say it.
it's because the word comes before
Yeah,
boba.
say it.
Boba. Stop it.
There's
Don't
a-
make fun of me. A boba.
There's a boba. Say it again.
A boba.
Yep.
Is that what you want to hear?
Yep.
Okay.
So what is there a shortage of?
lumber?
A lumber.
I love. All right, enough. You made me now. Now, see, my nose is all
All
stuffy. Again.
All right. Well, let's talk about that. We can talk about that off air. But I think that would be fun for the summer.
Okay. Well, yeah, we will talk about that.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, I don't got anything else. If you guys want to find us, we're on Instagram at My Mom Sandy Podcast. We're at TikTok. I think My Mom Sandy Podcast. You guys can always email us.
That's gross. I don't want to be on TikTok.
And talk to your daughter. She did it. She's in part. That's the marketing department. You gotta. That's extension
I'm
one.
gonna have to have a
That's
meeting
extension-
with the marketing department.
Extension 1-2.
I mean, I know she's gonna say that it's better to be on it than not, but I do feel like now they're tracking My Mom Sandy's podcast, and that would link into you, link into me, link into her.
You guys can email us if you ever need to. MyMomSandyPodcast@gmail.com. We have a new episode that comes out every Tuesday, and you know what I always say? We're on a roll because we're doing the podcast. We have a lot of podcasts in a row, and it's a roll. A boba. Say it again.
A boba.
Yeah.
I want to. There is a boba shortage. A boba.
We should go get. Let's go get
shortage.
bobas out for this.
No, I don't want a boba. I told you I don't like them. They make me nervous. I can't even swallow big pills. So why am I going to swallow a boba?
So, Sandy, what are you most scared of? Well,
a boba.
Bed bugs and a boba.
A boba.
A boba.
A boba. It's the silent killer.
Something wrong with you. Okay, everyone. We will see you next Tuesday.
There is something wrong with me.
And thanks for listening.
Yeah. All right. Very good.